Hello students, good morning. This is Nidhi Ghetia. Today we will discuss about the basics of the phytochemistry. Okay. So today we will study the chromatographic techniques. Okay. So today's our study of the content, that is introduction of chromatography, then history of chromatography, then principle of chromatography, then applications of chromatography and types of the chromatography. Okay, so let's be started with the introduction part of chromatography. Okay, so chromatography from derived from the Greek word, that is chroma, and graphein, that is so chroma, that means the color, and graphein, that means the bright. Okay, so they derived from the Greek word, that is chromatography. So is the collective term for the set of laboratories technique for the separation of mixture. So the mixture is dissolved in a fluid that's called the mobile phase, which carries it through a structure holding another material that's called the stationary phase. Okay, so the various constituents of the mixture travel at the different speed, causing them to separation, and then the separation is based on the differential partitioning between the mobile phase and stationary phase. Okay, separation they based on the partially in a mobile phase and stationary phase both. The mixture is dissolved in the fluid that's called the mobile phase, and they holding the structure holding to another material that's called the stationary phase. So the various constituents of the mixture, they travel at the different speed, causing them separation. Okay, now we will see the history of the chromatography. So chromatography, they literally color writing. Okay, so was first employed by Russian scientist Mikhail Twist in 19,000. So he continued to work with chromatography in the first decade of the 20th century, then primarily for the separation of plant pigments such as the chlorophyll, keratones, and xanthophyls. So since these components have different color, that is green, orange, and yellow respectively, so they gave the techniques as per their names. Okay, then now we will see the principle of chromatography. So chromatography usually consist of the mobile phase and stationary phase. Okay, they consist with the mobile phase and stationary phase. So the mobile phase refers to the mixture of substance to be separated, dissolved in a liquid or gaseous phase. So this stationary phase is a porous solid matrix through which the sample contained in the mobile phase percolates. So the interaction between the mobile phase and the stationary phase results in the separation of the compound from the mixture. Now we will see the application of more chromatography. So this chromatographic techniques is used for the separation of amino acids, proteins, and carbohydrates. Okay, this technique mostly widely used for the separation process. So they separate the amino acid, protein, and also carbohydrate, and also they analyze the drugs, then hormones and vitamins, then help for the qualitative and quantitative analysis of the complex mixtures compounds. So the technique is also useful for the determination of molecular weight of the protein. Okay, they identify this chromatographic technique they use for the separation process, then also they use for the analysis process, then qualitative and quantitative analysis for the complex mixture. Then also they determine the molecular weight. Okay. Now we will see the types of the chromatography. So here so many types of the chromatography. We see the one by one. Okay, so first one, that is the paper chromatography. Second one, that is the thin layer chromatography. That name, that is short name, that is TLC, thin layer chromatography. Then gel chromatography, then column chromatography, then ion exchange chromatography, then gel filtration chromatography, then gas liquid chromatography, then affinity chromatography. So now we started with the paper chromatography. So the paper chromatography is a technique that involves the placing a small dots or line of the sample solution onto the strip of the chromatographic paper. So the paper is placed in the jar containing this shallow layer of solvent and the sealed. So as the solvent rising through the paper, it meets the sample mixture, which starts to travel up and paper with the solvent. Okay, in paper chromatographic we use the one chromatographic paper. So they cut in the small strips, then placing in the one jar they containing the mobile phase. So and after they arrange properly, then they sealed with the one dish or one aluminum foil, anything. So this is the figures of the simple chromatography, that's called the also called the paper chromatography. Okay. So they distinguish with their RF value, that is the distance traveled by the substance and distance traveled by the solvent front. Okay. So new position of the sample, that is first original sample and new position of the sample. Okay. We see here. So the distance of the sample traveled, that is the sample RF value. Okay. And distance of the solvent they traveled. Okay, both are the considered for the identification of the RF value. So one equation of the RF value, that is the distance traveled by the substance into divided by the distance traveled by the solvent. Okay, so they give the original RF value for the any identification of the unknown sample. This is the equation, that is the distance traveled by the substance divided by the distance traveled by solvent. Okay. Then sometimes it is the rather difficult to separate a complex mixture of the substance by seeing a single run with one solvent system. So in case this condition, we go for the second run is carried out by the different solvent system in a direction perpendicular to the first run. Okay. Then this is refers to as the two-dimensional chromatographic technique. Okay. Also this called the two-dimensional chromatographic technique, simple chromatographic technique, and paper chromatographic technique. So this is the figure of the solvent front line and mobile phase running system and some dots of the color system. Then now we will see the thin layer chromatography, that is TLC. Okay, is widely employed laboratory technique and is similar to the paper chromatography. So, however, instead of the using a stationary phase of the paper, it involves the stationary phase of this thin layer of absorbent like silica gel, alumina or cellulose. Okay. So, compared to the paper, it has the advantage of faster in run. So, better the separation and the choice between the different absorbent. Okay. This very similar to the proper paper chromatography. So instead of the paper, we use here we use here absorbent like the silica gel or alumina or cellulose. Okay. So this is the thin layer chromatography. First we take the one glass plate, and then after we apply the silica gel G, either cellulose as absorbent in stationary phase. Okay, so this is the figure of the thin layer chromatography. Now we will see the gas chromatography. So gas liquid chromatography. So gas chromatography, also known as the gas liquid chromatography. Okay, both are the same name or synonyms. Gas chromatography and gas liquid chromatography is a simple separation technique in which the mobile phase is a gas. So it is the method of the choice for the separation of volatile oil, volatile substance, or the volatile derivatives of the certain non-volatile substance. So stationary phase is the inert solid material impermeate with the non-volatile liquid. So in gas chromatography, a sample is rapidly heated and vaporized at the injection port. So the sample is transported through the column by the mobile phase consisting of the inert gas. So sample components are separated based on their boiling point and relatively affinity for the stationary phase, which is most often as a viscous liquid, that's called the waxes. So within the column, so the higher components affinity for the stationary phase, the slower it comes of the column, and the components are then detected and represented as the peak on chromatogram. So the mixture of volatile material is injected into the column along with the mobile phase. So the separation of volatile mixture is based on the partition of components. Okay, this chromatography work on the partition coefficient principle. Okay, because of the separation. So this separation of the volatile mixture is based on the partition of the components between the mobile phase and stationary phase. The mobile phase, that is the gas, and stationary phase, that is the liquid. Hence the name gas liquid chromatography. So it is well suited for use in the petrochemical, environmental monitoring, and industrial chemical field. Also they are the sensitive, rapid, and reliable. Okay, so this is the gas chromatographic technique. So this is the figure of the gas chromatographic technique or gas liquid chromatographic technique. One cylinder here, one sample injector, then injector site, then gas apply on, and then sample detected in the detector, and after they generate the chromatogram. Now we will see the absorption TLC. So absorption TLC, that is the absorbents such as the activated silica gel, alumina, and kieselguhr are used. Okay, as an absorbent, we use the activated silica gel G or silica gel, then alumina and kieselguhr are used for the absorption TLC. Okay. Absorption TLC also considering in the simple chromatographic technique and TLC. Okay. Then now we will see the column chromatography. So in column chromatography is a separation technique in which the stationary beds is within a tube. Okay. Column chromatography is a separation technique in which stationary bed in within a tube. So as an absorbent, we use the column in glass tube. Okay, absorbent, that is the Kieselguhr Gur, then silica gel G or alumina, they packed in the one column in glass tube. So this shows as the stationary phase leaving an upon unrestricted path for the mobile phase in the middle of the tube. So the absorbents such as the silica gel, alumina, charcoal powder and calcium hydroxy apeptate are used. Okay, as an absorbent we used here silica gel G or simple silica gel, alumina, charcoal and calcium hydroxy apeptate. So the sample mixture is solvent is loaded on the column. So the individual compounds get differentially absorbed on the absorbent. So the elution is carried out by the buffer system, which is the mobile phase. So the individual components come out of the column at different rate, which may be collected and separately identified. Okay, this is the column chromatographic. So this is the figure of the column chromatographic. So first we take the one glass tube. So the tube filled with the absorbents, and after the filling process, addition of the solvent, then mixture of the component, that is the ABC, 3 mixture of the component, and then absorbent stationary phase packed first layer, that is the stationary phase, that is absorbent, second layer, that is the mixture of the component and or a complex mixture, and first one layer, that is solvent. Okay, and bottom side having the one glass wool and plug. Okay, so they different in the they separate these both the mixture all the mixture in their stationary phase. Okay, now we will see the ion exchange chromatography. So ion exchange chromatography usually refers to as the ion chromatography. So uses an ions exchange mechanism to separate the molecule on the basis of their electrical charges. So ion exchange chromatography uses the charged stationary phase to separate charged compounds including with the anion, cation, amino acid, peptides, and also they having the protein. Okay, so they separate the protein. So cation exchange and anion exchange are used as a ion exchange resins. In conventional method of the stationary phase is an ion exchange resin that carries the charged functional group that interact with the oppositely charged group of the compound to retain. Okay, first elution step, then sand and glass wool, and also they having the ion exchange resin, that is the anion and cation. Okay, then now we will see the gel filtration chromatography. So that's also known as the size exclusion chromatography. Okay, gel filtration chromatography and size exclusion chromatography both are the synonym, or also they called as the gel permeation chromatography. Okay, so they here size exclusion chromatography, also known as the gel permeation chromatography or gel filtration chromatography, and separate the molecule according to their size, shape, and molecular weight. It is also refers to as the molecular sieving or molecular exclusion chromatography. So smaller the molecules are able to enter the pores of the media and therefore molecule are trapped and removed from the flow of mobile phase. However, molecules that are larger than the average pore size and the packing are excluded and thus suffer essentially no retention. Such species are the first to be eluted. So this is how the molecules are separated. Okay, this is the gel filtration chromatography, gel permeation chromatography, and also known as the size exclusion chromatography, because they separate the size of the molecules. Okay, so it is generally low resolution chromatography technique, and thus it is often reserved for the final polishing step of in a purification process. So it is also useful for the determination of the tertiary structure and quaternary structure of purified proteins, especially since it can be carried out under the native solution condition. Okay. This is the process of the gel chromatography. Okay. First, mixture of the large and small proteins, then chromatographic column, and they after they elute these different size and shape molecules. Okay, now we will see the affinity chromatography. So affinity chromatography is based on the selective non-covalent interaction between the analytes and specific molecule referred to as the ligands. So the immobilized ligands act as the molecular fish hook and selectively pick up desired protein, while the remaining protein pass through the column. So this is the lock and key model, also called the lock and key model, and this is the affinity chromatographic technique. Now we will see the HPLC, that is the high performance liquid chromatography. So this is the most important and most widely used technique in industrial level. Okay, in types of the chromatographic technique, I missed to the indicate this. So here we will learn this technique, that is the high performance liquid chromatographic technique, that is HPLC, also known as the liquid chromatographic, and is separation technique in which the mobile phase is liquid, and liquid chromatography can be carried out either in a column or plane. So present day liquid chromatography that generally utilize very small packing particles and relatively high pressure in referred to high performance liquid chromatography. Since the chromatographic techniques are slow and time consuming, hence this separation can be greatly improved by using the high pressure in the range of 5000 to 10,000 psi. Psi, that is pound per square inch. Okay, so the liquid chromatography, high performance liquid chromatography, that this technique is also refers to as the high pressure liquid chromatography. So in HPLC, the sample is forced by a liquid at high pressure, the mobile phase through a column that is packed with a stationary phase composed of the irregularly or spherically shaped particles. Okay, so the interaction between the mobile phase and stationary phase that leads to the separation of the mixture. Forced by the liquid at high pressure in the mobile phase throughout the column, that is packed with the stationary phase. The stationary phase composed with the irregular and spherically shaped particles. So this is the system of the HPLC, that is high performance liquid chromatography. So here reservoir, then vacuum pump, solvent system 1 and solvent system 2. Okay, so they having the decacher 1 and 2, also then also mixing the vessel. This is this automatic machine figure. Okay, schematic diagram of the automatic machine of HPLC. Then high pressure pump, then they go enter in the pre column, then we inject the sample in the sample injection port, then flow to splitters, and they generate the pressure and analytical columns in analytical columns. Okay, then to waste or fraction collector and differential in detector. Okay, then they recorded the data recorded. Okay, this is the diagram of the schematic, not schematic diagram, but this is the one instrument diagram of the HPLC instrument. Okay, first solvent system and then pump, they manage the solvent manager and solvent delivery system. Okay, and then sample injection, so they sample injected in auto sampler sample manager, and after they sample they go in the HPLC column, and they samples passed out in the column, and then then after they go in the detector. So the detector, they detect the sample and they generate the record the chromatograms. Okay, in chromatograms they generate the peak in color wise. Okay, red, yellow, blue, any color wise. So they are the totally computerized data. Okay, and some waste material also removed. Okay, so this is the diagram of HPLC machine, and this is the proper diagram of HPLC machine, that is high performance liquid chromatography. In upper side, two bottles that's having the solvent, that is reservoir. Okay, in this system one detector also present. Detector here using the mostly using the UV ultraviolet detector. Okay, most in condition this is the one detector used. Okay, then sample injection, then also containing the pump and also containing the columns in inner side of this machine. Okay, this is the automatic machine, they operated with the computer. Okay, with setting the data. So now we will end our unit and also our syllabus, and also we complete the this fifth semester pharmacognosy. Okay, so thank you to all.